Hello guys, today we're going to take a look at a new map that was posted up on the farmingsimulator.com mod hub today called Woodshire. This map is version 1.0. It was released on March 21st, 2017, and it is currently in the beta section of the maps category. This map is modeled after the northern regions of the United States. This map offers small to large fields, cow, sheep, pigs, and chicken, um, all on different farms, I believe. Biogas plant. We have several buy points, many forest areas, train, so we will take a ride on the train. This map is built with chop straw support, so if you install that mod, you'll be able to get basically an extra level of fertilization out of your harvest by plowing or cultivating the chopped straw into the ground. There's Quarry and many other details, it says here on the mod hub description. So let's jump in the map and take a look. So as I do with all of my mod first impression videos, we're going to select our John Deere Gator. We're going to pull up the log. You can ignore these two warnings. They relate to some mods that we did not activate, but we still have in our mods folder. So we have a clean log. So here we are at our start point. One of our tractors and one of our planters appears to be here. So let's take a look at the map. So it looks like we have 28 fields on this map, all of varying sizes and shapes. Mostly are square or square-ish. The oddest shaped field may be field 10, where it kind of has two squares that are kind of joined together but off, slightly off alignment. The standard crop types are on the map. It looks like we own fields 2, 5, 6, and 12 from the start. I do these map first impression videos on hard mode, so it looks like we start with 0 crops in our farm silo on hard mode. It looks like the prices are fairly in line for hard mode. We have one sell point, which is a train only sell point. It looks like all of our equipment has a fair number of days, and several parts of our equipment have a fair number of operating hours on them. So it may benefit us to offload this equipment as soon as possible and get new equipment as soon as we can afford it, simply to minimize our daily maintenance costs. I like to take out a loan when I do these videos because I like to purchase animals as I walk around and check out the map. So as far as animals, it looks like we already start with 10 sheep. We start with a little bit of water and a little bit of grass already in the feed troughs, so they won't starve while we try to get our farm started up. We start with 0 pigs and 0 cows. Our storage silo has a storage capacity of 100,000 liters. Alright, let's take a look at our equipment. We already know that it's fairly old, has a fair number of hours on it, but let's take a look. So we start with 2 of the smaller and older style tractors, 125 horsepower and 145 horsepower. We have our small Case IH 1660 harvester. We have a grain header, a small tipper, cultivator, seeder, the small solid fertilized spreader, front mower, small forage trailer, our pickup, and our water tank. So we start with very basic, very small equipment at the outset. So I saw this on some snapshots and I wanted to take a look at it when I came in here. It looks like there are three little patches, as if they were um, garden patches that are planted with, I guess those are soybeans. We'll have to kind of zoom in here and look. I don't know what they are planted in. But you can see here when I toggle the growing function that the color is changing, and when I toggle the plowing, the plowed area is yellow. So this appears to be these three little patches of grass are of field appear to be potentially harvestable. So here is our buy point for sheep. We won't buy any more sheep because we already have 10. So here we have our starting sheep with our water trough right here with a little bit of water. Our water tanker. Here is our forage trailer right beside our grass feeding trough. So this just appears to be decoration. That is not any type of a tip endpoint. Here we have what looks like it could be a repair shop, but I do not see a customization trigger or icon. Here we have what looks like a water trigger at our well. Here we have our pickup truck, our harvester and grain header. So we have a very small starter farm here, Bain Farm, if that's what you want to call it, because this is where our sheep area is. So this is, sorry. So this appears to be our farm silo. It's a pretty interesting open door. Okay, I'm trying to open the door, but it's not opening. Oh, right click, silly. Alright, so this is our tip in. This is our farm silo. So I believe the way this works is you can tip in, but to actually get out, you have to come out and basically turn this on before you can actually take crops out of your silo. Because when that is off, your tip in, your tip out tube retracts. So we do have missions on this map. Here we have a 1.72 hectare field, $139,000. So overall, it's just looking here at the map. We have lots of varying terrain. Um, lots of areas where we have hills. This looks to be um, the American flag painted in the grass. If you recall, on Goldcrest Valley, there was a field that if you planted in grass, when it grew to its final growth stage, it would have the American flag on it. Um, so that appears to be replicated on this map. So that's where we start. Um, Mary's Farm is I guess the name of our starting point of our sheep farm. So let's buy our little John Deere Gator. Let's take a look at the map. So here we have our shop. Let's reset our Gator and see where it goes. So the reset point is at the shop. It is not at the farm. So we have our sheep farm as our starting point. Looks like we have pigs and chickens to the south and west of that, and our cattle appears to be further north and east of our starting point. So it looks like the shop's right down here. So let's just go ahead and run down here. This is field 3, 69,000 for 0.86 hectares. Here we have a nice waterway going under our bridge. Here's field 5, which we own. Looks like we're coming up here to a little town area. Looks like our spinnery cell point is off to the side. As you can see, we have traffic on this map. We have a small field, field 4. Almost half a hectare at $38,000. Alright, so here's our shop. Here is our John Deere Gator. We have our customization bay in here. A nice advertisement there for some Case IH equipment. Another nice sales ad there. So this is a Case IH dealer. So it looks like we start out with a very large amount of free product. So we start out with 5 liquid fertilizer pallets. Looks like we start out with 7 solid fertilizer pallets, 5 seed pallets, and 5 pig food pallets. So let's run up north and check out the cow area, since it seems to be kind of off all by itself. And then we'll swing down, check out this forestry area, and swing over and check out the biogas plant and our other animal farms, and then kind of finish over there by Goldcrest Pacific Grain and Mary's farm barn, I guess that is. So we have traffic going in both directions on this map. Looks like we have a fairly steady line of traffic. It's a nice field that goes up on a hill. Some construction, it looks like, going on there. Looks like we have a large grass field here that we can mow right from the start to support our cattle and our sheep operations. So here we have our sheep farm, or I'm sorry, our cattle farm. So here we have clearly marked where we buy our cows. There's our cattle. Here we have our water trough. We have 2 silage bays here. A nice shed here for equipment storage. We have another nice bay for equipment storage. That is simply decoration. We have a light switch. Turn on light in our space. Nice paved access road. So here we have our liquid and solid manure areas for cattle. We have one of our feed troughs over here in this little shed. I think I have gotten stuck. So it looks like we have one feed area here. This is probably where we blow our straw. And then we have our other feed trough in this shed. So the cows can be under cover when they come in to eat. And we have a nice little lean building here, old rundown looking building that we could probably store our silage mixer and our other equipment related to our cattle operation for feeding there. We have a nice field here right beside the cattle area, already planted in corn for possible chaff operations. I'm just going to run up this hill and check this out. So here we have a field up on top of this hilly area. .6 hectares, 210,000. There we have our train tracks that appear to go across the outside of the map. Whoops. So here we have a train bridge. Looks like we have some type of traffic circle up here. Looks like this was put in to give the AI traffic someplace to basically turn around and come back the other direction. Let's see if we have somebody following us. Oh, yes, we do. So So the traffic circle is simply there to allow the AI traffic to turn around and change direction. Drainage ditch there, so we want to watch how we come into the sawmill area. Here we have some storage area, a little bit of flat space. It looks like it leads up into the forest. Okay, so here we have a crane. Let's see if it's operational. So this crane is operational. You won't see me wanting to play the crane game, but if you like to load your train cars with logs and then unload them with a crane to sell them, you can. Here we have a nice ramp to unload or load a train car, and of course a storage shed for storing some logging equipment. We have quite an incline here to get up into our forest area. We have a very densely populated forest, it looks like, with nice undergrowth. I see lots of maps where we have forest area, but it ends up just being kind of this brown forest texture and nothing else. But on this map we have nice grass, undergrowth, and other plants growing down under, on the forest floor. We have this rough road all through here, kind of giving you the sense of a realistic kind of area that you would have, in a lumber situation. You wouldn't exactly have smooth roads going through the forest areas. It would be kind of bumpy and dug up as equipment makes ruts and various other issues with the road. So this is another reason why I like this gator. It pretty much can get almost anywhere. So we're coming around. Here's our BGA. We'll hopefully get out of this. So we have a tree that's kind of floating here, but given the varying terrain and everything, I can see where you would, if you were looking at it from this angle, you wouldn't realize that. So here we open up into a big field. Let's look at the map. This may possibly be, so as far as field size, it looks like maybe 17 or 9 is in the running for the largest field. So let's see if we can figure out where the icon for this field is. So this is 3.87 hectares. Let's just jump over here to field 9, see how big that one is. That was the corn field, 2.98. So field 17 is our biggest field, I believe. So let's see if we can get into the BGA from here. So we have a nice timber structure to store maybe our BGA equipment. We come down this nice little hill into our BGA proper space. We have our Silo King under this nice structure. And we have two very large silage bunkers. So here we have a couple storage bays that we could place equipment in. Come on. Okay, we appear to have to hold the mouse button down to open this door. Another nice storage area for possibly a tractor, maybe some conveyors, if that's how you want to load your wheel loader in there. All right. Let's figure out where we want to go. Looks like we'll go down here and check out the animal buy point, the pig and chicken area, as well as the barn. See, did I miss the entrance? No, it's right here. Okay, so here is our animal buy point. And while we're here, we will go ahead and buy some pigs, get them delivered. Okay, so when we get to the pig area, we will have some pigs. Here appears to be our barn for our hay, straw, and grass sell point. And then we have right here is our pig area and our chicken area. We have a second silo here. We have our tip in. We have our tip out. Here we have a fountain for water. Some nice storage sheds. So this is definitely a secondary farm. So here is the here's the farmhouse structure that's in Old Streams, kind of cleaned up and revisited. We have some nice Case IH posters on this map. Here again, this could be a repair bay, but lacks the trigger. So here we have a water and our feed area for our pigs, so they can come in out of the weather to get a drink and eat and be out in the shade. So here we have our pig area. Okay. This would be our pig buy point in here. We have a nice loading ramp if we wanted to load anything up on a flatbed trailer. There is our solid manure. There's our slurry point. Some nice fields right here off of this farm area. I have to say there's some pretty stellar looking views here. Looking at the map, it's a very attractive map. Looks very much like the east coast of the United States. If I dare say that I could be an expert in that, given that I grew up in rural Maryland on a farm, and now live in semi-rural Virginia area. Those areas we have a fair amount of rolling hills and rolling terrain. Not too much in the way of flat space. Definitely not too much in the way of square fields. So this is a little bit not accurate from that standpoint. Looks like we have another traffic circle up that way. I'm actually going to go this way and swing down because there's something down there at field 22. Not really quite sure what that might be. It looks like this structure off to our right may be a grain train transfer station. That's why it's not on the map. We will just go up there and check that out. See the train tracks right there off to our left. So indeed, that's what this is. Here you can pull stuff out of the transfer station. Here you can tip stuff in. And of course you have your railroad tracks and your out and in points on your railroad tracks. So this looks like this may be a third farm that we can make use of. We have some storage sheds up here. It looks like, do we have is this a functioning tip point? Is this a functioning silo system? It may very well be. I opened this up on hard mode, so I don't have any crops to tip in. So I have no way of really testing that, but it looks like it may be. So here we have storage. That is simply decoration in there. So here we have some equipment storage also. Here we have those arced storage bunkers on Sosnoska, and that's what the silo there appears to be from. Alright, so let's make our way down here to right agribusiness and Stanton sawmill. It looks like. Looks like here's the quarry off to our right that was mentioned in the description of the map. So there's the road down. Let's take the road down into the quarry. This doesn't appear to be a functional part of the map, just maybe decoration. Maybe it's waiting some functionality for maybe some mods to come out that relate to quarry functions. So here we have what looks like a collapsed mine entrance. these roads wind down down here to the bottom of the quarry. If we had taken the right road, we would have been able to drive down in. And then it looks like this drives up into a... Okay, it does not drive up into a forest area. It's just as a road to get around the top ridge of the quarry here. This is a nice, interesting part of the map. Back on the road, go through our traffic circle. Here we have another large grass field that we can mow, it appears. It appears this may be the sawmill. Let's jump out and take a look around. Alright, I'm not seeing where we have markers to sell our logs or our wood chips. Maybe it's over here. I spoke too soon. So it looks like this is where we tip our wood chips. Is this possibly where we put our logs? I see markers on this bin. So let's check. Yes, indeed, that's a, I guess I'll call that a tip point for unloading our logs. So that's an interesting element I haven't seen in other maps. Let's see if this crane works. It does, so we can use a crane to unload our truck and drop them in here. If I played this map, I would probably use my Flegel auto loading wood trailer, and I would just pull up there and I would drop them all on top of that point. Oops, let's go up here and check out this area. So here we have another crane for log sales. And we have a field up here. Now I'm not seeing a number on the map for this field. Clearly it has a crop growing in it. Okay, clearly we have What is that? Is that poplar? So we have poplar growing in here for wood chips, but it's not a numbered field. I don't see an icon to possibly buy this field, so I'm a little curious as to if we can harvest this field, if it's like a free field or not. Um, we have a storage shed up here. Obviously, we have plenty of forestry area off of this field. That is field 10. So we have a gas station down there. The tree wouldn't let me drive through it earlier, so we'll just come out here. Looks like we have some more free grass fields. Let's get out on the road. So here we have another sell point. This is Right Agribusiness. We tip up here. Looks like they also purchase our slurry. So this might be an interesting place to come into with a large trailer. It doesn't look too bad. You might be able to pull out there fairly easy. Here is the gas station that we saw through the forest area. All right, we have our spinnery up here that we saw from our run down to the store. Excuse me. So we have an eyeglass store, hardware store. There's our spinnery. So the sell point must be in the back. So there's our sell point for wool. Nice little town shopping area here. There's our buy point for eggs. So our sheep farm is right there, if you remember. So let's come back here and we'll go over here to the bakery and finish up our look. Let's get rid of that. Oh no, that's where we were. So that's the barn and the pig area. Let's look at this sign. More Case IH advertisement. Here we have some residential houses, but the road seems to lead into a buy area. Here we have our bakery, another buy point for eggs. Our sales tip. Whoa, that's going to be tight. So if you drive through, looks like you're going to have to come and make a pretty sharp turn, as soon as you tip, you're gonna have to turn this way pretty sharp to get out. So this will not be someplace you want to come in here with a really big trailer and try to pull through. It's a big water tower. I'm wondering if that is a water trigger that is there. Let's get out and get over here and take a look. So that appears to be maybe a very big water trigger. So it looks like we go up here. Here's a nice flat space for potential placeable items, placeable mods. So we have yet another egg buy point. Looks like we have a tip point here for, it's like Mary's Farm. Mary's Farm. Now it's interesting that our sheep area had a Mary's Farm sign. Here's where we sell our solid manure. There it looks like we have hay, straw, and grass sales. Here I think we have Goldcrest Pacific Grain. We have another tip point to drive through. And this appears to be maybe another train transfer station. Transfer our grain onto or off of the train. And here we have the train. So I think that's pretty much saying that we need to jump on the train and drive around the map. And that should complete our first impression video. It's interesting, this station is really set up for 2 tracks. You can see the out there on the grass area. Another large grass field for potential mowing. There is that large poplar field that I said was didn't have any sign of being owned by anybody. We may be able to harvest that for free. If you play this map, it'd be something to check out. There's the quarry that we drove around through. This is that possible 3rd farm up here by field 22. A spot where you could put some placeable items there maybe. There's our pig farm. So overall, I think this is a very nice map, very attractive landscaping, and setup of the fields are rather interesting in how they're laid out. Fields are not flat; they have definitely some terrain, hills, angles to work with. The traffic may be a bit aggressive and a bit excessive on this map, so if I played this map, I'd probably turn the traffic off. I wish there was like a way you could dial the traffic down a bit. There's plenty of forestry to keep you busy if that's something that you like to do on the side while you're waiting for your crops to grow. Okay, that's our cattle farm there with our silage bunkers. We seem to have lots of potential free grass here, or lots of area that we can open up and expand our fields to make them larger if we want. Here we have our train only sell point. And we're back to where we started from. There's our gator. So we'll just let the train go by. So that will conclude our first impressions video of Woodshire. Again, this map can be found on the farmingsimulator.com website under the mod hub, in-game mod hub, and currently it's under the beta section of the maps area. Hope you enjoyed this video and come back and watch some more. Till then, see you later.